Hey everybody, this is Alan, and we're here for a very special new edition of Pop Modern Plays. We're going to be playing through, hopefully, the entirety of one of my favorite games from my childhood, which is 1995's Full Throttle. Now, if you don't know, Full Throttle was a game developed by LucasArts, which are now... They've shut down, unfortunately. It was a subsidiary of Lucasfilm and George Lucas's game company, and they made some of the greatest point-and-click adventure games of all time, pretty much. And Full Throttle is definitely up there, I would say so. It is. I'm mostly playing it now in honor of. So the thing is, since I said that LucasArts has shut down, they are now most of the people that originally worked at LucasArts, their adventure game team, that is, are now at Double Fine. Double Fine, of course, being the makers of such games as Psychonauts, Brutal Legend, and the just very recently released Broken Age. There was a Kickstarter backed game, and I just finished it a couple days ago. Absolutely love the game. It's beautiful. You should absolutely play it. It's very much worth your money. It's on Steam. You should play it. We're going to get right into it in just a sec. I just wanted to come in here and kind of give you an introduction. I'm gonna be playing through. I have a walkthrough with me, mainly so that I don't wander around, and because I haven't played this game in a very long time, and I don't think I've ever played it to completion, but I've definitely seen the ending. And it's a great game, and it's a great story, and yeah, so just I hope you'll enjoy this journey through classic video gaming with me. Hopefully the cutscene volume isn't a little loud. The game starts with a lot of dialogue and exposition. So here we go. I'm not going to talk over the dialogue, obviously, because the writing is what you come to these games for, so just enjoy.
Whenever I smell asphalt, I think of Marine. That's the last sensation I had before I blacked out. The thick smell of asphalt. And the first thing I saw when I woke up was her face. She said she'd fix my bike. Free. No strings attached. I should have known then that things are never that simple. Yeah, when I think of Marine, I think of two things. Asphalt and trouble.
Rip Burger, you're dumber than dirt.
Oh, Mr. Corley, if you'd only listen to my plan, my vision.
I know your plan, Rip Burger. You're waiting for me to die so you can take over my company.
Oh, sir, that's horrible. I am not waiting for you to die.
You know I've never liked you, Rip. But you have business know-how and killer instincts that I respect.
Why, thank you, sir.
But this latest idea of yours, riding up to our shareholders' meeting with a gang of bikers? Who do you think you're fooling?
The shareholders, sir. It's good PR to be seen hobnobbing with real Corley Motors customers.
What do you know about our customers, Adrian? You've never even been on a bike.
Well, you know I'd be on one right now, sir, if it weren't for my destabilizing inner ear condition.
Ah, your ears are fine. It's what's between them that scares me.
Yeah. Oh, I remember this part now. It's music.
Now there goes some boys I can ride with. Step on it. Let's find out who they are.
December 61, my dad's wages lie. Still on that salary, we all bought pussy time.
Late metal card.
Right now,
4 minutes and already
I'm
a
there to sing with. You need a rock, score a
pop in here. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of really big voice talent in this game. Like I said, all these names, all these famous people. Tim Schafer, there you go.
Kind of legacy that's tossing some good men to their knees.
almost time for us to actually play the game.
Hey, Ben. You know, Ben, we're broke.
Yeah?
And if some cash doesn't come our way soon, we're in big trouble.
Relax. I have a feeling something's coming our way. Something big.
You better stay out here, Rip. This place
Oh,
is
wait, no, there's
bikers
still-
only.
Yeah, there's still like 5 minutes. This whole part 1 might just be cutscenes.
All right. Who's the guy that drove over my car?
Huh?
What could possibly be taking so long?
Maybe old man Corley got himself in trouble.
Yeah, maybe they took the old
There's
guy
Maurice
out back
LaMarche.
and worked him over with a 2x4.
An appealing notion, but improbable. More likely he's boring them to death with some tale of the glory days.
But Malcolm, isn't that illegal?
Not back then, it wasn't.
Oh, that animation.
So who do you ride with these days?
He rides with me. Although I'm sure he'd much rather be riding with your little club.
I told you to wait out in the limo, Rip Burger.
I thought you might like some help with your sales pitch, sir.
Sales pitch?
Yes, we have come here today to offer you and your men employment. Mr. Corley requires an escort to the annual Corley Motors shareholders meeting.
Does this look like an escort service to you?
You would be well compensated for your time, of course.
Not interested.
It's fairly obvious that you could use the money.
Aw.
Listen, I said we're not for rent. The polecats are not goons for hire.
Nice
Not
tattoo.
even if it were
Oh,
Malcolm
symbolic tattoo. We're
Corley's
gonna see that
dying
in
wish.
just a minute. We're gonna see
Rip
that tattoo.
Burger? That does it. I'm gonna...
Hold on there, Malcolm. If you don't mind, I'd like to step outside with Mr. Ripburger for a little chat.
Excellent idea.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we're about to get to gameplay. We might make it in part
And
1.
the doctor says he only has a few months to live.
That's bad news for all of us. He's not just a nice guy. He's also the last motorcycle maker in the country. What happens to Corley Motors if he dies?
Don't worry. I have a plan. And if you come to the shareholders meeting with us, you'll find out what it is.
No dice, Ripburger. The polecats are not thugs for rent.
Fuck yeah.
If you want to buy muscle, you should go find the Rottweilers.
The old man says it's the polecats or nothing.
Then I guess it'll have to be nothing.
And that's your last word?
That's it.
Well, I'd like to make you just one final offer.
Shit. Alright, we're gonna jump in here. I'll let this video go a little long, I feel bad.
Bolus, take this coat and go get his motorcycle. We'll have to tie up this little 200-pound loose end. It will need to look like an accident.
That stuffed shirt actually thinks I'll leave him in control of Corley Motors when I go. Boy, is he in for a surprise.
Hey, where's Ben going?
Your colleague has decided to accept our
No.
generous offer after all. As a matter of
not
fact,
me.
he's gone on ahead to scout out the route.
He did?
Well then, let's roll 'em, boys.
Oh, I played that
Here we come.
Yay! We're playing the game now. Oh, jittery. Okay, I'm gonna let this video go a little long, and then we're gonna get into the actual game in part 2. So yeah, pretty interesting introduction. It's very much focused on sort of the evolution of the concept of a biker and sort of the death of the biker gang in modern American society, and the story goes in some really interesting places. I'm not gonna spoil any of it, but we're obviously gonna play it in this series. Lots of great talent behind it. The other thing I was gonna mention is that the main reason that we're doing this series and the way that we're doing it is I was inspired partly by an article on, I believe it was pastemagazine.com. I'm not entirely sure, but it was an article about the or actually it was the AV Club. Yes, the Onion AV Club, and it was an article about this concept of game preservation and how there are certain old games that just will not be able to be enjoyed and appreciated by modern audiences as they originally were and intended to be. And I feel like Full Throttle is one of the most unfortunate examples of that, because here's the thing with Full Throttle: you can't buy it. If you watch this series and you're like, oh, sick, I should totally play Full Throttle and get it, you can't. You cannot. You literally cannot give them money to play this game. I mean, you can, like, you can buy a CD copy, but you're only going to find them, like, on Amazon, and they're crazy expensive, because it's, like, a collector's item at this point. And I'd recommend you do that if you're, you know, a diehard fan. I had a copy when I was much younger, or I think I found one in our house somewhere. My dad used to buy a bunch of, like, used discs, and I definitely remember playing this game, so through that. But if you want to buy it today, like, it's not on Steam. It's not even on Good Old Games. And none of the old LucasArts adventure games are. A lot of times they'll remake them for stuff like the iPad, or the remakes will get on different platforms. But Full Throttle is one of the ones that unfortunately has not been remade in any context. And so the way we're playing it is actually on a program now called Scum VM. And so if I press that, I can pause, which is not a function of the game, but a function of the program Scum VM, which emulates games that were made in the Scum engine. And Scum is the primary engine for all the old LucasArts adventure games. It's the visual engine, and Scum stands for Script Creation Utility for Maniac Mansion, which was actually the first game to use the engine, and it's another Tim Schafer written LucasArts adventure game from a much older era. So Scum VM is a program made by just some fans of the old games that lets you essentially virtualize these old games with ROMs, like an emulator basically for old PC games, because they just don't run on normal computers. Like, they were meant to run, you know, on DOS or whatever computer you were using in 1995, which is really weird, but that's just the way it is. And so I'm not going to recommend that you illegally download ROMs of these games to play them, but if it means that you're going to play them, and it means that you're going to get into these creators' games, and that leads you to buying other Double Fine games like Broken Age, which I did recommend at the beginning, then more power to you. But so that's all I'm going to say here. I hope I didn't waste too much of your time. I hope this part wasn't too boring. We got some nice story set up, though. We got the introduction to Ben and all the characters. So part 2, we're going to start actually playing the game.